welcome back for another great workout. Today we are going to be doing a triple threat workout. So we have 3 trisets. Each of those are going to be for 10 reps each, which is great. So our first triset is focusing a little bit more on the chest, so kind of more of that pushing movement. Then we're going to move on to a little bit more of a shoulder focused triset, followed up with a little bit more of a pulling and posterior chain tricep. So it'll be a great full body workout for you with some new movements. So we're going to start off with a Pec Fly, a floor press, and then also standing Pec Scoops. So all of these are 3 sets, 10 reps each. If you're doing anything single-sided, make sure you do all 10 reps on each side. So let's jump right into the floor Pec Fly. You're going to want to have 2 weights that are going to be of equal resistance for you, something easy to hang on to. We're going to get onto the floor like we would for our floor press. So we're going to have our weights at our sides here, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. A slight pelvic tilt just to keep our back flat on the floor. And then we're actually going to be bringing the weight above us here. And then in our starting position, we want to have the weights at our sides. So straight out from our shoulders, about chest height, elbows slightly bent, and we're going to squeeze that weight in at the top. And then slowly lowering that back down, nice controlled movement, and just really squeezing the chest muscles at the top. So that's going to be our floor Pec Fly. From there, we're going to move into a floor press. We're going to stay in the same position, and we're going to really work on pressing that weight up. So just keeping the weights nice and close at our sides, at the bottom, and just really pressing, using those chest muscles to press the weight up above us. So that's our floor press. From there, we're going to move into the standing Pec Scoops. For this, you're going to want a little bit lighter weights. These are going to be a little bit more challenging of a movement. I'm actually just going to use 2 bottles of water, which might be a little bit on the really light side, but you'll get the idea. We're actually going to stand feet with hip width apart, hands at our sides here, palms facing forward. We're going to have a slight bend in our elbow, and we're actually going to be scooping that weight up just about chest height, really focusing on squeezing those chest muscles together as we bring our arms up. So kind of from the side here, elbows slightly bent, and just really scooping and bringing those hands together right at chest height. Make sure we keep our core tight throughout the entire movement as well, just for proper posture. So that's our first tricep, and then we are going to move into our second tricep, which is more shoulder focused. 2 weights again. We're going to start with an overhead shoulder press. So we're going to have our weight starting here at the shoulder height. We're going to press that straight up overhead, bringing them down nice, slow, and controlled. And again, just pressing straight overhead. If you want to do a little bit more of a neutral grip here, that's always an option for you as well. Starting in kind of that front racked position, pressing straight overhead, making sure that we're keeping the chest proud, core tight as we're doing that movement. Then we're going to move into a lateral raise. Again, this is going to be a more challenging movement. It's a little smaller muscle group, so we want to keep the weights a little bit lighter. So I'm going to use the water bottles again. We're going to start feet hip width apart, core tight, chest proud, weights at our side, and we're just going to bring those arms straight out, just bringing them up just to chest height. So we don't want to shrug our shoulders at all. We want to keep our shoulders kind of down and back, keeping a long neck, and then just raising those arms out to the sides. So that'll be a good one. And then we're also going to do an upright row. I'm going to show you just with 1 weight initially, then you can also do this with 2. So we're going to be feet hip width apart, chest proud, core tight, and we're actually going to be bringing that elbow up and out to the side here. So we don't need to bring the elbow up too high. Once we get to about shoulder height, that'll be good. Really focusing on driving that weight up. So that'll be a good movement for you. You can do that with both hands here too, using weights in each hand. So bringing those elbows up. Again, they won't come up real high, just about shoulder height. So that'll be our upright row. And then for our last tricep, we are going to focus a little bit more on pulling exercises really kind of work more of the back muscles, and then also posterior chain, just kind of more of your glutes, hamstrings, that area. So we're going to start with a bent over row. We're going to grab our weights here. We're going to do a little bit of a slight hip hinge. We're going to have the weights down in front of us, chest proud, head in a neutral position, and we're going to be rowing that weight back, really squeezing your shoulder blades together as you bring that weight up. So that's going to be our bent over row. And then we're going to move into a Romanian deadlift. Feet hip width apart, core tight, chest proud. Again, we're going to do that hip hinge movement to bring the weights down. And then we're really going to squeeze the glutes and bring those hips forward as we stand up. So that's going to be our Romanian deadlift. We'll go from the side here, a little easier to see that movement. So hinge back. You'll feel a little bit of a stretch in your hamstrings. Your knees should be slightly bent. We don't want them to be completely straight, slight bend. Hips back, and then really squeeze those glutes. Bring the hips through as you stand up. Last, we're going to move into a suitcase deadlift. So our suitcase deadlift, we want to use a little bit more of a challenging weight. We're going to have that weight just on one side. We're going to stand with our feet a little bit more than hip width apart. We're going to make sure that we keep the chest proud, core tight. And what we're going to do is we're going to reach down with one hand and we're going to grab onto that weight, really driving through our heels, using our glutes, driving the hips forward as we pick that weight up. So that's going to be our suitcase deadlift. I'm going to do one from the side. Really getting those hips back, driving through our feet, bringing those hips forward, really squeezing those glutes as we come up. So it should be more of a hip hinge movement, less of a squat. So those are our triple threat triceps, and then we are going to move into a core finisher. We're going to start with a side plank with shoulder rotation, and then we have Renegade Rows and mountain climbers. So for our side plank with shoulder rotation, you're going to be elbow directly under your shoulder with your shoulders, hips, knees, ankles all in a row, feet stacked, legs extended. We're going to lift up onto that elbow, and then we're actually going to use the other hand and we're actually going to reach through. Just want to reach through right underneath our rib cage, under our elbow here, and that's going to be our shoulder rotation. You can also do some modified side plank position and tuck your feet back this way, and again lifting those hips off the floor and then reaching through with the opposite hand. So that's our side plank. And then we're going to move into our Renegade Row. You'll want your weights for this. So we're going to be in the high plank position. You're going to want to have your feet a little bit wider apart just for a little more stability. And then we're going to be rowing, alternating sides from the high plank position. And again, you can also do this in the modified plank position from your knees. So that's an option as well. Really make sure that we're keeping that core engaged as we're doing the rows. And then we're going to end with our mountain climbers. So high plank position here, and we're going to be driving those feet and knees forward, doing our climb in that position. So that's going to be our finisher. I hope that you enjoyed